What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where we take your questions and answer them here on this show. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and today I have the dream team with me yet again to tackle these amazing topics. A lot of crazy, not necessarily crazy topics, but some things that we're definitely going to dive into that I think that you guys are going to enjoy. But I couldn't do this by myself, so I have my panel with me here today. Ian, how are you guys? How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. It feels like a while since I've seen you. Have you gotten taller?
A little bit, just a little bit. I've been taking some pills.
There you go.
So, and Jeremy, how are you doing today?
I'm glad to be back, man. I'm sure that it was a good show last week, but I'm sure it's going to be just a little bit better with Ian here.
Oh, most definitely. We always have fun when we are here with each other. But if you guys, if this is your first time ever watching this show, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit that bell right next to it when you get all the notifications of every time I'm releasing a video here on Momentum Media. And if you want your question or topic on this show, just go ahead and send me an email at theaskalexshow@gmail.com. That's theaskalexshow@gmail.com. And like I said, you guys, we don't have that many crazy questions for you guys today, but ironically, a lot of our questions have to do with Netflix. So let's go ahead and jump into the first question, which comes from a John Wesley. And he writes, "Hey, Alex, so Netflix is developing a Splinter Cell animated movie. Actually, it's an animated series. I looked it up, and it's not a movie. It's an actual episodic series. But my question is, isn't Tom Hardy still contracted to play a live-action Splinter Cell movie? Does this mean that the live-action version of this movie is canceled? Thanks for taking my question." Well, thank you for your question, John. So what John is referring to, I think this is way back before I started really doing stuff on YouTube. Like in 2012, 2011, maybe 2013, Tom Hardy was slated to play a live action Splinter Cell live action movie. I remember they were getting writers together and they were going to put him as Sam Fisher, the main character of the game. And if anyone's played that game, I'm a huge Xbox fan. I love that game. My favorite Splinter Cell game is Splinter Cell Conviction. I like Blacklist as well, but Conviction, I still play it to this day. That came out on 360. And man, they're really fun games. If any of you guys have ever played them, I would still continue to play them now. I still play it on my Xbox One, and I still play Blacklist on my Xbox One as well. So they're really fun games. And after we heard, that Tom Hardy was cast as Sam Fisher, we didn't hear anything else for that movie for like years. This is the very first time where we've heard anything about the game in itself and just this whole series. So yes, Netflix is going to be putting it out as an animated series. I'm not so sure if the live action movie is canceled, because I don't know what Netflix's rights is to that property. But it's like I said, it's definitely a fun game. It is something I'm interested in. If they do decide to do live action at some point, I'll be more than happy to watch it, because Tom Hardy is actually a really good actor. But as of right now, I don't think there's going to be any movement for that project as this story progresses. So, Jeremy, you heard this story about Splinter Cell being at Netflix for an animated series. What do you think about the development of this game, and do you think they should make a series based off a video game?
So, I've never played the Splinter Cell games, but I think it's kind of cool that, like, Tom Clancy, who's this really famous kind of espionage spy thriller author, was the person who put the storylines into these games, or Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. And actually the first game came out in like 2002. The first coinciding novel of the same name, I think, was 2004. So this is a long-running franchise. I remember it was 2017 when Tom Hardy was slated or became attached to this project. And there were a little bit of like development details that came out about it. Like, people were speculating to what the story was going to be or whatever, but literally the last headlines that I saw about a Splinter Cell movie, and Tom Hardy was 2017. So I don't know exactly how contracts go. I can't speak to that, but I'd imagine they can only keep you on retainer for so long before you're like, hey, I've got to like move on and do other stuff. So I don't know if he's still attached to a movie, but I know if you're going to get me excited about a Splinter Cell adaptation, it's not going to be a live action movie. It's not going to be a Netflix original movie. I love the idea that they're making this an anime series and that the writer of John Wick is heavily involved with it. And I don't want to speak for Ian. I know that he and I aren't on the same page about the John Wick trilogy, as in like, I think it's fantastic and he's wrong.
Yeah, he's very wrong. Very wrong.
That said, I think this is the formula to do it right, because video game movies just so far haven't broken that proverbial curse that we talk about every time. I can't think of 5 good video game adaptations, so I don't know. I feel like this one could go in a good direction because it has a strong foundation. The source material is from a really respected writer, and then I really like the writers of John Wick. So yeah, if you're gonna get me excited, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, and you know, Jeremy puts out a really good point. I forgot that Tom Clancy was involved in this stuff because he essentially created it. I think anything that Tom Clancy that he's involved in is going to be great, whether you put it in a video game form, animated form, movie form. And like I said, like he said before, the John Wick writers are attached to it. That I don't give a damn what Ian says. That trilogy is fucking amazing. But Ian, what do you think about the Splinter Cell potentially coming to Netflix in its animated form?
And what do you think about John Wick, sucker?
Okay, can I speak now? Thank you. Well, first of all, I can see why Ellen DeGeneres is getting all this backlash for being disrespectful, because, yeah, you see her over here on this live stream being so mean to me. But anyways, I don't hate John Wick, obviously. I've said in my video that I think it's overrated. It's a good series. It's awesome, but I don't think it's that great. There's an opinion. Cancel me. I don't care.
Love it or hate it, dude. You have 2 choices. A, love it. B, hate it. There's nothing else.
I said nothing in the middle. I can't do middle ground. Okay. So anyways, also, I'm not even really that huge of a video game fan, but I'm going to say some nice things about this, though, because everyone knows I'm one of those guys that just, like, I'll play with my son. I love Super Smash Brothers. I like Halo, and I love 007. Those are my bread and butters. I'll play those things all day. But I've never really played this game. But I am aware that the books have been a thing for years. So if any adaptation of a video game movie deserves one, it's this one. This one has huge longevity, and I'm all for it. And somebody that heard great things about the book, the spy thriller, I've always been interested. I've never played the game, but I've always been interested in the concept. So yeah. Another thing, man, I gotta give props to Netflix, man. They've been kicking ass.
Yes, they have.
And this is why I'm giving them so much props right now. Because last year around this time, everybody was counting them out. They're like, oh, it's over, Netflix.
For sure.
Plus is killing it. HBO Max is coming. You know, all the, what's it called? All these other streaming, Apple Plus is coming. All these streaming services are coming for the head honcho that started it all. And Netflix said, okay, do your best. Do your best. It's been 1 year. And Netflix is like, okay, well, that was your best. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to still do original content. We're not going to even put ads in our stuff. You guys, you know, weirdos, you're going to keep, you think you just take me down with nostalgia alone? I'm Netflix, bitch. That's what they said. So props to Netflix still doing their thing, still being original. I love it. And I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, I'm not big on video game adaptations, but Sonic the Hedgehog did really good this year, and that gave me hope too. So there's nothing but positive vibes for this. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it. And I have to agree with Ian. I was one, and I still have videos up of it, like where I said Disney Plus, if they do it right, they have the potential of passing Netflix. I even said the same thing about HBO Max because of all of Warner Brothers' original content. I said that was going to happen. Netflix literally dropped their dick on the table and said, what now? Like, really, like, what now? So yeah, like, I'm super excited for a lot of stuff that's coming out. But what do you guys think about a Splinter Cell movie, or sorry, series coming out on Netflix? Jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. And let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Larry Rice. And he writes, "Hey Alex, Netflix is bringing back a lot of classic shows like Moesha, Half and Half, Sister Sister, and so many more. What do you think about this development at Netflix?" Well, thank you for your question, Larry. So literally, like, this happened over this past week. Like, literally, I think it was on like Thursday or Friday, and there was like this huge press release on Netflix's Facebook and YouTube channel where they're bringing back all these 90s, early 2000s classic shows that came out when I was growing up. So I was so excited to hear that, like One-on-One and Half and Half and Moesha and the Parkers, all these shows I grew up watching on UPN that later on turned into the CW are coming to Netflix, and we're getting the full seasons of every single last one of them. I wasn't a huge fan of Girlfriends, so I won't be. My wife will probably watch it, but I won't. But like, I'm just interested to see what these new shows are. I mean, what these shows are going to bring. It's so much nostalgia. I mean, I know there's a lot of shit about Monique, but I love the Parkers because it was so funny. Like, just turning it on and have her interacting with her family. That shit was so funny growing up. Sister Sister, T and Tamara. That was amazing growing up. Like, I just can't wait to see what Netflix is doing. And like I said before, Netflix is killing it. If they keep making moves like this, I'm like, you know what? F Disney Plus. I'm all the way in Netflix. And you know what's funny? Moesha right now is out on Netflix. So the press release said that all these shows were going to be coming out in, I think, September 11th. Moesha right now, you can watch Moesha right now on Netflix. So I was super excited when this press release came out, and all the original cast of these shows were talking about how they're so grateful that's coming back out. So, Ian, you saw this press release as well. What did you think about these original old shows coming back to Netflix with every single episode that's ever aired?
Man, listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for that 90s black sitcom stuff. You know why? Because I feel like that was like a golden age of sitcoms.
Yep.
Like, the Cosby Show obviously was the one that inspired a lot of that. Mm-hmm. You know, we love the Cosby Show. No love for the real Bill Cosby, but the Cosby Show was amazing.
Yeah.
But I love what came after that. I love the Wayne Brothers Show. I love Jamie Foxx. I love Moesha. I love Sister Sister. I love. My son is rewatching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air right now on HBO Max. All that stuff. It's just like positive black stuff. Not seeing us dribbling basketballs or rapping or robbing people and selling crack. It's just us trying to survive, go to college, and, you know, stuff like that. All the similar stuff that happens in regular sitcoms that were not portrayed as in the media. And I love it. And if sitcoms are not really the best thing right now, I know that Blackish is a love show. I don't really watch it, but I know that a lot of people love that. But I think this right here is something to go back to. I'm not even really that big of a fan of going back to old stuff because I'm all about progression and going forward. But sitcoms like these, I think, are needed, especially in households of raising children. And so it's funny, but also educational. And I'll back that up all day.
Yeah. And these are definitely classic shows, like I said, that I grew up watching, that all of us grew up watching, and I just love them for what they are. So, Jeremy, you saw this press release as well of these old shows. What do you think about them coming back to Netflix and with all of their episodes going to be on Netflix?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I kind of echo what Ian was saying about the 1990s. Like, my experience, obviously quite a bit different. I didn't watch a lot of these shows, but that said, like, there was this a real cultural moment in the 90s where, like, yeah, black television wasn't kind of shoehorned into one specific box. Like, there were all sorts of different black people being represented on these shows. It wasn't that kind of monolithic idea, kind of what you said, Ian, is like when a white straight writer tries to write about a queer person or a gay person, a lot of times those kind of stereotypes are going to get played up or kind of brought out of it. And so from an outside perspective, what we see is kind of these broad caricatures of different groups of people who aren't being represented by the voices that are telling the story. And in the 1990s, it seemed like there were a lot of voices that were able to tell different stories. And it seemed also that not only were there more black-led shows on primetime television, but the audience didn't have a problem with it, where I almost feel like it's telling that we would have to go back to the 90s to find so many black-led shows that were primetime television. Like, you look forward after that, and there hasn't really been a decade. Well, I mean, it's only been a couple decades, but there hasn't really been another part of time where it was so, like, inclusive, for lack of a better word. Like, nobody seemed to care, you know? Like, In Living Color is one of my absolute favorite stand-up series. And it just, like, I felt in my naive adolescence and then even growing up that, like, dude, racism is a thing that we're going to be able to, like, put behind us, like, soon. This is great. And then here we are. And I know this isn't a political show, but it is very telling that you have to go back to the 1990s to be able to find this kind of representation. And like you were saying, Ian, positive influences in black households. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great.
And let me say another thing too, just to piggyback on that. I thought that too. Like, when it came to that time period, like In Living Color, all this stuff, like I used to go to, my middle school was like, I was one of the few black people in middle school. Yeah. I had white people all the time just, hey, did you watch this last night? We're just talking about it. Like, race was not even in the subject because that was their show. They loved it. I don't know what happened in between times after that. Like, you know, it just became, I don't know, things get divisive when you get older and you see lens of things differently. But when we were kids, we just liked funny. We just liked things that told a good story. And a lot of these shows were the funniest things on television.
Oh yeah, like, man, and I'm glad you guys brought that up because that era, in my opinion, was like the dynasty of black comedy. Like, and I heard Martin Lawrence say this. He says comedy doesn't have a color. So when you watch Martin, the sitcom Martin, it was hilarious. When you watch the sitcom of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, although it's a black family, it is hilarious. Like, and you know what's funny? Nobody on that show are comedians, but it's hilarious. It's so funny. And like I said, when I go back to watching, like, you know, Half and Half and Sister Sister, although Sister Sister is more of a childish show, it was still funny for what it was. Two twins walking around not knowing who they are, and then they finally meet, and they have a quirky but nostalgic, I guess, show / relationship where it's relatable and it's funny. And like Ian said, like, I went to a school where it was predominantly more white people than black people, and everybody was like, yo, did you watch Martin last night? In my mind, I'm like, your parents let you watch Martin? I mean, yeah, I watched it last night, but yeah, it was dope, you know? So yeah, like, those shows, what Netflix is doing right now, they are up to something that is so big that I just can't wait to see what the future lies for Netflix. So I think this is amazing. What do you guys think about these classic 90s shows coming back to Netflix with all of their episodes? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's a bad move? Just jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. And we have a returning guest, Miss Iris Peoples, who asked me a very interesting question that I can't wait to hear you guys' reviews on. But this question comes from Miss Iris, and she writes, "Hey Alex, Umbrella Academy Season 2 came out, and I just finished watching it, and it's amazing. What do you think about this new season of this show?" All right, well, thank you for your question, Iris. So it's funny, like, I remember the night of me and Ian were talking on the phone, and Ian was waiting for the season to drop, like, that night. And I didn't watch it that night. I watched it literally the next morning. And I thought Umbrella Academy Season 1 was actually pretty good for what it was. And I do remember reading the comics of that before it came out. It was definitely an odd setting of these different characters. Now, I'm just gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I watched Umbrella Academy season 2. I gave it some time before I gave my final thoughts, and I have to say this.
Here we go.
I have to say this. That is the most trash season I've ever seen of this fucking show. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I know I'm about to get like hate, but I'm sorry. But listen. Umbrella Academy season 1, I feel was so much better than season 2. I feel like season 2, without spoiling anything, is a carbon copy of season 1 to a degree. There's some different stuff in there, but I'm just like, I felt bored most of the time, and I said, okay, let me rewatch some of this stuff so that way I'm not giving just the hateful answer. So I literally sat there and watched it, and I was just like, this is the dumbest show. Like, Ian just walked off camera.
He just not straight up. Man down.
I'm sorry. I hated this season. I felt like it was such a letdown. Like, there wasn't a payoff for me. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people who don't enjoy it. I'm not. But I felt like the payoff for me was like, really? Like, it didn't do anything for me. So it's funny. Ian just dropped a review of it today, which is actually pretty dope. And it seemed like just from listening to that review, he enjoyed it. So Ian, what do you think about my comments, and what do you think about Umbrella Academy season 2?
All right, everybody has their own opinion. Nobody's right or wrong. I'll say that first. But
That's nice of you.
have that same energy you had, Jeremy, when he said that. Well, my opinion about John Wick. But okay. I loved it. I'm like you too, dude. I loved the season 1. I actually thought season 2 was better, and I love both of them. I want to say that we're living in a great time because I love like indie comics right now. Like, of course, I love the mainstream stuff. Like, you got Thor in your background, he's got Spider-Man in his background. I love what we all grew up on, but for the first time ever, I'm starting to see different adaptations of adult content novels that people can just do free reign stuff without any contracts with Disney to hold them back. So I'm loving Umbrella Academy, The Boys, Watchmen, and other things like that. I loved it, actually, and I thought that it did have a lot of different elements from the first season, and I thought it left at a great cliffhanger that they could do whatever they want with that. You're just like, holy crap, where are they going with this? I enjoyed it. I love sci-fi. I love superhero stuff. I love time travel. It's got everything I love in it. But yeah, like you said, if you want to hear all my opinions about that, definitely check out my review I did. It's a hip-hop version of it where I rap my review. And also, I will be doing another video where I'm having, I want to do my theories of where Season 3 is going. In closing, Alex, you are an idiot, and I vote everybody to dislike this video. I'm just kidding. Tell my boy love, even though he's wrong.
You know, since I made that very hot take, I'm definitely going to put this as a separate video so I can get everyone... that I can get one. You know what? I've actually had people say, Alex, do you hate stuff to get views? No, I genuinely, like, honestly, like, I guarantee you, when I watched this season, it did not do anything for me. I really felt more invested in this series in season 1. And to Ian's point about the cliffhanger, I have a problem with the cliffhanger. Like, that's how invested I thought I was in this series. But Jeremy, did you see Umbrella Academy season 2? And if you did, what did you think about it?
So let me tell you guys a story about me getting Doom Patrol and Umbrella Academy mixed up.
This man is old.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, X-Men, Umbrella Academy, and Doom Patrol are all like really similar.
He's right.
Vibes.
He is kind of right though.
So apparently, Doom Patrol predates X-Men, And Stan Lee's answer to do so, I'm going to talk to you guys about Doom Patrol. No, I saw season 1 of Umbrella Academy. Gerard Way wrote the graphic novels or the comic book series. He's the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, so that kind of gives you an idea about the tone of it. And I like it as well. Ian, I think you make a really good point. Like, the indie comics are kind of where it's at right now when you want to break from formula, but you still like the genre. Victoria is very much in a place where she could really care who's publishing it. Like, it's all superhero stuff to her. But for us, I think we can see a little bit more of the nuance. Something like The Boys is completely different from The Watchmen, is completely different from the MCU. So for me, it's refreshing to see these kind of shows. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I really like the Russell Brand looking dude. What's his name?
His name is Klaus on the show.
Klaus. That dude is hilarious. Like,
he's hilarious.
He steals it. So I like it. I'm definitely going to check out season 2. But I like the vibe of it. I think it looks great for television. Bobo, what's his name?
Bobo, as in the monkey?
Yeah.
Pogo,
yeah, Bobo. Yeah, super good looking special effects. I think it's a cool show. And I'm curious to check it out. I'm curious as to, like, do you think, Alex, that it was expectations? Do you think that it was the cliffhanger? Or do you think that it's because do you think you had expectations going in? Like, what do you think the difference is between you and Ian's take on it?
I feel that season 1 set it up where season 2 was going to be, in my opinion, a little bit more outrageous. Because if you watch season 1, they were doing a lot of things, in my opinion, where I felt not necessarily not normal, but just like, whoa, like, I never thought that this is how, and I'm trying not to spoil it, but I never thought this is how you would solve issues in terms of saving the world.
Yeah, okay.
So, and when you look at season 2, I feel they were copying a lot of the stuff from season 1 and being a little bit more like I feel like some of the plots that they were taking from season 1 were reiterated in season 2 without any originality to it for me. And then when you see the cliffhanger happen, I'm like, okay, it happens in a way where you don't necessarily know what could potentially happen. You have your theories, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, I'm like, really, like this. It felt expectations for me because I really enjoyed season 1. Like, season 1 was really good. It started off slow for me, but as I finished it, I was like, oh, this is really good. And season 2, I was like, what the hell? Like, so, but yeah, that's how it kind of came to me.
So I don't think this is the case with all shows, but have you guys heard of the sophomore slump? Like, season 2s of even the best television series are oftentimes shit because they didn't know that they were going to get greenlit, right? So they went through an entire story arc in season 1, and then they get greenlit for season 2, and they're like, oh crap, people obviously liked what we did the first time around, and we did not plan for going 5 more years. So a lot of times season 2s just basically reset the board, and then it's like season 3 where it starts to pick up again. And I can think of a couple series where that is the case, but it's not always.
I'd say that Prison Break was one that I thought that season 1 and season 2 were great, and then season 3 went downhill. But that came at a time when there was a writer's strike from Fox. That kind of show, yeah.
I mean, listen, and let me just say before we wrap up this topic, there are some redeemable parts about that season. It's not all trash in my opinion. I mean, in my opinion, it is trash, but it's not all it's not all trash. I see why people.
We gotta go with Jeremy's review. We gotta see what he got to say about it.
But I mean, if you guys seen Umbrella Academy season 2, what do you think? What do you guys think? This will definitely be a separate video, so jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. And that will do it for today's show, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming back and watching this show, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you get all the updates of every time I'm releasing a video here on Momentum Media. Jeremy, where can we find you on social media?
Ask Alex every week right here on YouTube. Make sure to check it out. Also, Jeremy Be Terrible and Movies Are Terrible. And make sure to head over and check out Ian's new video. Show him some love. That's a really good template that he's got going on for those reviews. So go over there. Let him know you appreciate it.
Yeah. Dope review of Umbrella Academy, the very same video that we were just shitting on. But, you know, I'm joking. I'm so joking. But Ian, where can we find you on social media?
Hey man, you can find me at Instagram or Twitter at _controversy. But I'd rather you show me some love on YouTube at youtube.com/thecontroversy. And not only would I love you to watch my videos, but please let's have this dialogue of like pop culture or social commentary or music. I love that. I love to talk to my people. And these guys right here are my creative Avengers. When we get together, we save the world.
Yeah, we do it almost every day, and we have a lot of cool content coming out on all of our individual channels, which I will definitely leave links in the description below. But guys, I have a special request. So Jeremy and Ian are almost at 3,000 subscribers. If you are avid watching of this show and you love our commentary, please go visit their channels and help them reach their goal. They're so close. They're really close. So
I appreciate that, Alex.
Oh, anytime. And, you know, and like, we definitely want to make sure we reach our goals. So if you love what we're doing here, definitely go to their channels, check out their content, and be a supporter of their channel. So we really would definitely appreciate that. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, you have a blessed day.